You're watching this week's show with Dan and Mike.
This week's show.
Oh yeah, new studio time.
Look at what we have. And I'd say
what we had as kids.
it is literally the collection of things that I have saved up over the years. The only thing I've actually bought for the studio that's up currently is the Thor hammer.
Okay, that's just a little one, it's not the main thing.
No, God, because I've got the Captain America shield there. Up there I've got my pre-battle and post-battle Iron Man masks.
Okay.
And my hot gloves.
Nice.
Bit obsessed with Marvel, but we brand represent because DC is a little bit more the brand that you like when it comes to that type of thing.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, we thought we're starting to get into having a lot of fun with the podcast. So rather than just taking up an untidy corner and not putting not any effort in, but we had a new room, new chance to set up, so we thought, why not? Let's go for broke and actually have like a full massive setup.
And obviously the other side of the camera as well. We've got new mics which you can see, stands and mixer and all that kind of. So we should be sounding much better as a podcast.
Hopefully so. This is where future Dan panics when that doesn't happen.
That'd be alright.
So yeah, we just thought we'd touch base. This is quite a short one compared to what we normally do, because we've got a deep dive and an album club coming up in the next couple of weeks.
And also, we might need some more bits for the studio.
Yeah, as you might be able to tell, the lighting hasn't arrived yet.
Yeah, it's alright.
It's alright.
Like a C8 light.
Yeah, but we're going to literally have a light bar going on every shelf so that we can display all of the nerdy stuff, or more recently things that I would never have been able to afford as a kid. So I have like my title belt, Money in the Bank briefcase, all the things I genuinely wanted as a kid.
Or do you just want the money from the Money in the Bank?
It's just a contract, and it means that because I've got the briefcase, I can run in, my entrance music will drop, and I can face Cena at any point I want.
Okay.
Yeah.
What is your entrance music?
I was actually going to ask you this. Is there a track that because I had a good suggestion for yours, but I don't really I didn't really think of one for myself, if that makes sense.
The original theme tune to Batman?
No, mine, because it's all about the first 10 seconds drop. It's a little bit what you can sing along with as well, but you want something that drops hard and people automatically know it's you.
Finger Bus?
No, I was thinking Omen by The Prodigy. Because if that dropped, you would know straight away which music it was. And I thought that would be great entrance music, especially now that the rules on what qualifies as good entrance music in the WWE has completely changed, and you can have things like Motionless in White.
And Kerry King at WrestleMania.
A throwback to our album club, one of the things I did, and this could be if I wanted to go heavy like early CM Punk, could do This Calling by All That Remains, the start of the Fall of Ideals. Because imagine him hearing that breath drop in an arena with 15,000 people. That would be quite an entrance.
But would you have to put it on a loop because it's a long walk from the entrance to the actual ring, or would you?
Well, this is the interesting thing. So they do let the full song play out post match on a whip.
Yeah.
But there is a certain loop version that they have for being in the ring, and Jey Uso's music is a lot longer, for example, than the loop that goes on for him to celebrate getting to the ring.
Yes.
Also, shout out to, I think it was Chris Van Vliet again, but Cody Rhodes was explaining how much he loves his entrance music and means the absolute world to him. But when he wins as champion on the main event of most things that he is performing on, it then plays 10, 15 times in the ring whilst he's celebrating. He's like, and when you're hearing your own entrance music 10 to 15 times a night, that's when you start he's like, I just wish that maybe they could do something different. But he asked, and apparently the reason is they want fans to have their videos with Cody Rhodes' actual entrance music in.
Fair enough.
So it's done to increase the fan experience.
It's the marketing.
Pretty much, yeah. So yeah, we're also heading towards Festy season as well.
Only a few weeks till Slam Dunk.
And that's when we started the podcast. Was Slam Dunk last year. This year we actually get to go with a fully functioning podcast and not trying to work out what we want to be doing whilst we're there.
It's taken a year, but we're pretty much there.
Yeah, no, I'm really looking forward to this one because we're hoping to do similar to what you saw on some of our festivals last year, because we had an awful lot of fun getting back to something that we did almost, I think it was about 10, 12 years ago, where we blogged parts of the festivals that we were at. And we're never gonna release the blog that we did 10, 15 years ago, because that thing does not need to see the light of day.
It doesn't hold that long.
No. But we've always liked being able to show people like what makes Slam Dunk so good to go to. Like, why do we like it so much? What stuff is like download, which is probably out of all of them the biggest grounds that we have to interact with.
Yeah, we put in some footsteps.
Some miles, yeah. And then when it's a wet download, I barely enter the arena at all.
Half a song one year, wasn't it? And that was just because you were walking through to get back to the car.
Pretty much, yeah. No, that's. I'm a bit of a OG fan of my own bands, that if there's not much that's entertaining me at download on headliners, because that's largely what we get to see being press. We tend to spend most of the day in the press area, either interviewing, networking, or doing post-production so that we can get stuff actually out on the festival grounds. If there's not headliners that line up with what I like, then I tend to stay working in the press area till like 11 o'clock at night.
It has been known.
But this year I'm well excited. Even not being the biggest Sleep Token fan, we did it in Torquay at the Foundry, didn't we? That was the last time. We also have done other ones where I'm looking forward to seeing what Worship looks like on...
With 90,000 people.
Yeah, on a Download's main stage.
Yeah, I haven't seen anybody worship outside before.
So there's a reason why we're also getting a bit excited for this, because we're a deep dive that's coming up. We're going to go Sleep Token because we've got some interesting stuff to say, having known their journey from when nobody knew who they were to being a Download headliner.
Well, they're even now a chart bother, aren't they?
They are,
the third track, this that's come out.
Cameron now?
No, the one after that, Democell. Even that bothering to the top of the chart.
I mean, we love this because Sleep Token are a metal and rock community band, and if they're going to bring more fans in, then that could mean...
Oh yeah, there'll definitely be a gateway for
so many people.
Lots of people. But not just to rock and metal, but to music, because they've got like gospel elements, they've got operatics, and then they've got Vessel.
And the last time I saw a band do this much of a gateway sort of thing, a personal experience, not necessarily a professional experience, was actually Linkin Park. Linkin Park took the idea of screaming, sort of dirty beats, rapping, and sort of metalcore singing, and then they were crushing the charts on their first album. And
it's the hip hop beats.
Yeah, and then they never slowed down. I'm hoping that with their new
for a moment.
Yeah, I'm hoping with the new vocalist as well, we get a chance to see them headline Download again, because I don't think they need to earn their dues back, because that's insulting.
They're headlining everywhere else. It's just they're doing their own stadium headline tour first as they come back for true fans, and then they'll come back through next year doing festivals and whatnot. Festivals, because why not make the money yourself?
Not only that, but it's what Sleep Token did as a proving ground as well. They did a Wembley show, pretty confident that they were going to sell it out. They sold out Wembley. Then you go to somebody like Andy Coppin, who is the main compere of Download and the booker, especially of headliners. Like, that's what he focuses on more. And this is something, a shout out John Mahone, we obviously shout him out a lot, but he did a whole breakdown as to why certain bands get selected for headline slots. It doesn't matter how you feel about the band, unfortunately. It is literally down to who sells tickets.
It is business.
And Sleep Token and Linkin Park sell tickets.
And Ghost, who also, I've been saying it for a year or so, but they will headline next year's Download, because they're doing exactly the same thing. New album, they're out doing headline slots of their own tours and whatnot. Then next year they'll come through headlining festivals.
Well, we always thought that Ghost had a pretty meteoric rise to popularity.
A little bit longer than
Sleep.
Token.
Yeah, I was going to say Sleep Token have blown most meteoric rises out of the water. Apart from This Will Make You Giggle, because you'll remember the meteoric rise I'm talking about, and that within 1 year from releasing I Believe in a Thing Called Love,
Headlining Reading.
Yeah. And that was The Darkness. And they, don't get me wrong, they've had some peaks and troughs, but they still headline smaller festivals.
Yeah. This headline smaller stages of the main festivals, but it's just that it's sometimes you can have with The Darkness. It's almost like being famous now. You have like your TikTok moment where you go viral to 100 million people, and then the following year you're expected to headline the O2 in London or something, and all of a sudden you only got that one thing that you're famous for online.
Yeah.
You've got to try and sell 15,000 tickets or whatever and work out stage show and everything, when you're kind of known for is this one hit. And that's what kind of happened with Darkness like 25 years ago. They kind of went up like that and then dipped right down, but now they kind of plateaued out, and that plateau has gradually got them going higher and higher.
Because we've seen at Reading, post Malone, midday on the main stage.
Yeah, it was like a lunchtime thing, wasn't it?
Yeah, and then the year after, headlining the main stage. But
by himself with no band.
I was going to say, that was the thing that, as sort of veterans of festival headliners, we're a little bit confused by, because there wasn't an awful lot of graphics in the background, and there was nothing on stage with him. That is either the most ballsy way to headline a festival, just you and knowing it's just you, or he didn't realise what headlining a festival like that would actually entail backline-wise. I don't know, I've not seen any sort of reports on it. We know he went down really, really well with the crowd.
So he did back again.
Yeah. But that was an interesting one to see, because like I say, in 1 year, he jumped all the way up the stage.
Yeah, but unlike The Darkness, Post Malone hasn't gone back down.
No,
he's now doing his own stadium headline tour across the States and Europe later in the year.
Hell yeah. So,
with Jelly Roll.
I mean, also, shout out Jelly Roll. How healthy did Jelly Roll look at WrestleMania this year?
He's lost over 200 pounds in the course of a year, because it started last year when he did the Two Bears 5K run.
Yeah.
As a kind of, I'll have my friend Bert and Tom out kind of thing. And he's just got healthier and healthier, and this year he's running it again. But it's going to do more than just one lap. He's going to do a couple by the time he gets to meet fans, I think. But
I mean, I love it, because my experience of Jelly Roll is a lot less. But I remember him being out last year, because he was the theme song for WrestleMania last year.
Yeah.
And he did the choke slam on somebody.
He did.
I think it might have been The Miz. I genuinely can't remember offhand. But then seeing him in the crowd this year, we actually cheered, me and the manager, when we saw him come on screen. And it's not just like, if you want to be a big guy, be a big guy. That's not the point. It's the fact he looked so happy within himself compared to like the other outings that we've seen, and just comfortable in his own skin. Fair play to him.
He's just got healthy. He's at that age now where you've got to look after your health, and especially because he's going to be making serious amounts of money. If you're all of a sudden playing a stadium and you've got to cancel it because you've had a heart attack because you're a big fella or you're unfit.
Those are some of the risks that you run. Like I said, we're not saying that you can't be the size that you want to be. That's not the point. We just promote healthiness, because the personal story of the two of us is we've both pulled our finger out of our booties over the last year, and in different ways worked out what was good for us. I actually went back to the doctor. We've done this on the podcast before, so I figured bring it back up. Went back to the doctor, and he literally couldn't believe the changes and he was like, I don't often sit here when somebody's working on themselves and can see it in like your physique, how healthy your skin is, and he's like, and your energy has completely changed. And it's doing what we said, is making sure that mental health comes first. And also, thank you, manager, because it wasn't The Miz, it was Austin Theory.
It was Austin Theory.
Austin Theory. who, by the way...
I didn't know that at all. Never heard of him.
The greatest seller of the Stunner. He's definitely up there for somebody that sells the Stunner like an absolute legend. Or just sells any move. He looks like, not quite as good as Roman Reigns, who legitimately looks like he dies if he takes a finisher from somebody else. But yeah, Austin Theory has some quite funny bumps in the ring as well. Thank us also to all the love that we got for our little WrestleMania specials, particularly on the socials. But I think it's just, people love talking wrestling now because it's not this embarrassing thing that doesn't really have much substance to it.
Well, yeah, now on Netflix.
Yep.
They were also doing a show on Netflix about the writers' room. They've gone behind the scenes of the storylines over the last year.
Yeah.
It's going to be interesting.
I can't wait for stuff like that. I think also Freddie Prinze Jr. has talked about his time when he was a WWE writer as well. And that's included in that one as well, because I had to double check that. I was like, wait, Freddie Prinze Jr., Mr. at one point Hollywood A-lister. No, he genuinely, when he wanted to get away from the camera, became a WWE storyline writer.
Why not?
Brilliant. WWE, employ me. Like, I'd love to write storylines. That'd be so much fun. I think we covered most of the things that we set out to cover at the start of this one.
I believe so. It's just a splash and dash.
Splash and dash.
A new podcast studio.
And let us know if there's anything that we should have up here as well. And whilst you're letting us know in the comments, thoughts about the studio, still we want to know your WrestleMania and general WWE thoughts, and who we should do Album Club on as well. We've got a poll coming up. Keep attention to our social media. Where you can do a like, subscribe, and hit the notification bell at the same time.
But also, leave a comment and share us. It's more important.
Yeah.
Every little helps, as they say.
Also check the festival lineups that we're going to. So like check Slam Dunk, check Download, 2000 Trees, Bloodstock, and Reading are the ones that we're hoping to be at this year. Slayer Fest. And let us know which bands you'd like us to interview and why we should interview certain bands as well, and we will do our best. And no, it won't be Sleep Token. They don't do interviews anyways, and the rock show doesn't quite get headliners at Download, so...
Not for that stage.
Not for that stage. We sometimes get the second stage.
We could definitely buy into interview Sleep Token, and then we just get a collection of no's.
Or we could do what we did with Slipknot and just buy our own Vessel mask, and then nobody will know that it's actually you interviewing me as Vessel.
Nobody knows who Vessel is anyway, so how do you know I'm not Vessel?
I mean, I could be Vessel.
Exactly.
I have very similar dance moves.
You be Vessel Monday through Thursday, and then I'll do Friday, Saturday, Sunday. 2 shows on a Saturday, right?
Yeah, nobody's going to notice the height difference. It'll be fine.
No, we can all dance gangly like that.
And I love the fact that sometimes you dance so hard he gets confused and doesn't know what to do next. That's somebody that's truly enjoying like the vibe that they're giving to people. Anyway, more about Sleep Token either next week or the week after. We're going to set down a plan as to what the next podcast will be, but we're going to be coming at you from our new studio.
And then very soon from Festival Site.
Festival Sites indeed.
So until then,
bye, please.
Thank you for watching our first podcast in the new studio. We love our new studio, and we only have a couple of standard episodes of our podcast left until we get into festival season. So make sure you join us next week. We're going to do a deep dive into a festival headliner that we've spoken about a bit on the podcast already, but we're going to get really deep into it.